welcome on in to a Christmas. Why are we here? Like, there's not a person in this building, Jay Harper. Sam Rutherford.
We're it.
I thought this was the day for, like, part-timers and whatever. Well, you're here, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Joan, apparently the big star of the show. She didn't have to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But here we are, Sam.
Here we are, the worker bees.
That's exactly right. Actually, you know what? Joan is going to be filling in for Chris Hand at 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, good for her.
So, and I already know that Joan has a banger topic. You know how I know that? Because I sent it to her.
Oh.
That's how I know she's got a banger topic this morning.
You're feeding her establishment talking points there, Dan?
Joan is far from establishment. Boy, oh boy. No. You know what? She'll slash your tires. I don't even have to, she always says that, but I'll say it for her. She'll slash your tires, and she knows what you drive. All right. I guess that's it. Fine. All right, good. Anyway, so here we are. It is Christmas Eve morning, and very much appreciate, Jay, you coming in. And Sam, of course, is here as well. And I am here, too. All right. So very quickly, I've got a lot of content. Had a big conversation with myself hosting Red Eye Radio. One of the things that I've noticed, and Jay, I know that you probably have an opinion on this. Sam, you may have an opinion on this.
All right.
There's two ways to do a Christmas Eve morning show. I can either fluff out and play a bunch of Christmas music, or I can do content. Now, this is always a conversation in talk radio, just little peek behind the curtain, where some people will say, oh, well, it's Christmas morning or it's Christmas week. You shouldn't do content on Christmas week or whatever. You got to fluff out. And I'm like, no, people come to talk radio for content. And when I say content, I mean like stuff that we always do. If you want to hear fluff, you go to the fluffy stations.
Yes.
But we're not going to do fluff on the morning show. Listen to other hosts, if they want to do fluff, knock themselves out. But I'm not going to do fluff.
That's right. There's nothing fluffy about you, Dan.
That's exactly right, Jay. Thank you.
Courtesy of Contours.
So I'm going to do content like I always do. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas. And we'll do the last day of our, we pick the Christmas music. And so I've already got mine. Jay, I don't know if you've chosen yours.
I have one. I've not passed it on to Sam, however,
right,
but I do have one in mind.
All right, pass it along to Sam. Mm-hmm. And again, this will be mercifully the last day that we do this, because I'm going to be honest with you, it's gotten a little long in the tooth. No offense to anybody, but good Lord, man. All right, so we've got a lot going on. Let's get right to it. Hunter Biden. By the way, Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. So yesterday and last night, we played some Hunter Biden audio from this big, long interview with Sean Ryan. And you know what? I want to, at some point, I got to listen to the whole thing, because it's like 5.5 hours. And so I'm genuinely curious how much pushback Sean, who I like Sean Ryan. He is awesome. He's got Scoreboard, got one of the biggest podcasts in the podcasting world. I do wonder how much pushback, though, he gave Hunter Biden on some of this stuff. For example, Hunter said, well, if Donald Trump, doesn't want to get shot at, he should stop acting like a fascist. That's what Hunter Biden said. I've got the audio. This is audio only because I just pulled this, and there are some dirty words in there that I could not edit out because we don't have video editing systems here at work, so I had to play just the audio. Here is how that conversation went. Hunter Biden and Sean Ryan.
You have a political party that's continuously saying you're a Nazi, a fascist, Nazi, fascist, Nazi. He's like Hitler, you know what I mean? And then you got...
This is Sean Ryan.
Assassination attempts all over the country, and it's
I know, but Sean,
like I said,
I'm not. Look, I don't want to get into like the argument over and I really mean it, but like I hear you, I hear what you're saying.
But he is totally okay with people taking shots at Donald Trump if he's acting like a fascist.
But part of me also says, you don't want to be called a fascist, don't act like a fascist.
There it is.
And what I mean by fascism is this, is deputizing a largest federal police force in history to go on America's streets masked without warrants and drag pregnant women out of their cars in the snow and kneel on their backs.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I don't know if that's happened where pregnant women were hauled out of a car and made to lay on their backs. I seem to recall there was a pregnant woman that tried to run over ICE agents. I don't know if that's the one, but here's the thing, is that when Donald Trump was, the assassination attempt happened on Donald Trump, he hadn't done that yet, Hunter. And the bottom line is there is absolutely no excuse for anyone to try to assassinate an American president or an American presidential candidate. There's absolutely none. I think that, Hunter, your dad, Joe Biden, was the absolute worst president in the history of bad presidents. I don't believe that he deserved to be assassinated. Not in any way, shape, or form. So that's the difference between conservatives and the ilk that is Hunter Biden, is that they will justify violence. I mean, this is really, if you think about it, this is the left, right? This is the left, and this is how the left will justify violence. Well, if he's going to send, mass agents into the streets of America, if you're going to act like a fascist, well then, okay, but here's the deal. That, again, does not justify what happened to Donald Trump not once but twice.
And it's par for the course out of the communist playbook. There's a clip that circulated the web for a while where they intercepted a message from world communist groups. It goes like this.
Label them, after suitable buildups, as fascist or Nazi.
Talking about when they get in the way, they try to enact actual rule of law, and they don't want you to have a communist takeover.
Well, you remember Nancy Pelosi, right? In that famous, I don't know, it wasn't a speech, but she was in front of reporters, and basically what she said was, yeah, you know what? You label your opponent, then, and I'm going to paraphrase, you label your opponent, and then the media will continue to perpetuate that lie about your opponent, and then the people believe that what you say about your opponent is true, and that's how you assassinate someone's character, and that leads to an assassination. Now, did you see anything about a pregnant woman being hauled out of a car and made to lay on her back or whatever?
No. Just like I didn't see a child arrested by ICE and put in handcuffs either.
Oh. Yeah, you see, this is what they do. Again, hey, Jay, is anything going on in traffic?
No, Dan. I mean, it's just wide open at the moment. So keep on.
Thank you, Jay. Very inspiring. Thank you. Here's more from the brain trust that is Hunter Biden, and I'm not talking about Sean Ryan. I like Sean Ryan, but listen to this:
of sending people to prisons, death camps in El Salvador with no due process.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, in El Salvador, those aren't death camps. Otherwise, all those MS-13 gang members would be dead. But they're not dead. So that's number one. Number two, these are gang members from Venezuela. So, Hunter Biden, I don't know. I don't know what, again, and I've said this 1,000 times now. I don't exactly know what it is that he's trying to accomplish with this interview with Sean Ryan. But, I mean, to me, I think Sean is letting him talk, and that's all fine, well, and good, because the more that Hunter talks, the more he makes himself sound, in my opinion, like a moron. And so this is really not surprising. And any time, and I don't know if they got into the conversation of Charlie Kirk, I would be very interested to know what Hunter Biden would have to say about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. if he justified the assassination attempts on Donald Trump, then it wouldn't surprise me if he had, something snarky to say about Charlie Kirk. Or maybe he surprised me and he said, no, Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie was horrible. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think I ought to spend my Christmas day tomorrow watching Hunter Biden and Sean Ryan? Is that really what I want to do?
I don't think so. Save that for the weekend because, you're going to need multiple intermissions. You're going to need coffee breaks. Just tolerance breaks of listening to his shrill little voice.
Mm-hmm. The shrill little voice. Yeah, you know what? You are right. By the way, we are on YouTube this morning. If you want to watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, Rumble, 997WTN.com. If you want to watch us on video. Feel free, video streaming. Also, we are streaming everywhere on the WTN app and so forth. All right, so there's another soundbite of Hunter Biden, and I want to play it. This is Hunter, and he said something really bizarre that I don't really even understand. Where he said that the laptop from hell, did not exist. I don't remember if I played this yesterday during the morning show. I know that I played it on the overnight show, but people come and go. So this is Hunter, and he is trying to say that the laptop from hell, the one that Chuck Grassley has investigated, the FBI has investigated as well. Hunter says that laptop doesn't exist.
So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit.
Okay, now, here's the thing that I don't understand, and I'm gonna rewind it and play it again. In the first 15 seconds, he says the laptop did not exist. Then he'll come back and he'll say the laptop does exist.
So what I can tell you about the laptop is that there is no laptop. That's bullshit. What was provided out there, there
was no laptop.
There is an actual physical laptop.
So, did you hear that? So, he says there's no laptop, and then Sean Ryan says there's no laptop, and then he says, well, there's a physical laptop. Maybe it's all the drugs and the hookers. Do you think that's what it is with Hunter Biden, that he's so scattered?
That somebody had. But the guy that said he had the laptop, the existence of the search for the laptop came before he was even a twinkle in Rudy Giuliani's eye.
All righty, so remember the story. Hunter Biden leaves the laptop at the repair shop for months, right? So the owner reads the data, believes it to be incriminating, realizes it's Hunter Biden's, realizes that it is incriminating, gives the laptop to the FBI, and he also shared the laptop with Rudy Giuliani. But what Hunter is saying is that it was all of these other figures that are out there in, people like in Ukraine, and what they did was they cobbled together all of these old emails and all of this old data to create something incriminating. That's what he says. That's what Hunter Biden says.
Saving pictures of yourself doing crack cocaine with hookers is not forces conspiring against you. It's poor file management.
Well, it's poor life management, man. I mean, but true, poor file management as well, I suppose.
And so what they did is they cobbled together stolen, concocted, fabricated, mishmash of digital information, largely which is, thousands and thousands and thousands of emails from 25 years. I mean, no laptop could have held all of that. And so what they did is they put it all together, and then they talk about it, and they made it out to be this thing. And so then the story doesn't become about the laptop at all. Because
do you know what he sounds like? He sounds like, I've been around drug addicts. I come from a long line of alcoholics, right? I've told you that story. So he sounds like somebody who doesn't want to take accountability or responsibility for the things that they have done. And oftentimes when you are around addicts, they do this kind of thing where they'll just come up with, excuses, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And that's what they do. Not wanting to take accountability and trying to explain all the terrible things that have happened to them. So now somehow Hunter Biden is an innocent victim in all of this? Is that what he's trying to sell? Because I don't know if this is a reputation reclamation project that Hunter Biden is attempting, but it's not working.
There's nothing in the laptop other than a record of me being a degenerate.
So there you go. That is Hunter Biden. Yes, that was him clearly being a degenerate. But, here's the thing that I would say is that you have sources from within the FBI and Chuck Grassley, who, through his role in the Senate, looked at the contents of the laptop, and they found all kinds of evidence of shady business dealings and influence peddling. So I don't know who he's trying to kid. I don't know if Sean Ryan was convinced. I'm sure as heck not convinced. Anybody who knows Hunter Biden more than likely is not convinced, except probably Joe. But as I said yesterday, and I don't want to repeat yesterday's topic, but I think that it's convenient and for Hunter Biden to be like, yeah, my dad screwed this up. My dad screwed this up, kind of throwing his dad under the bus when for 4 years he could have influenced his father to be a better president, but he chose not to. That's what Hunter Biden did. And so he's got a father now who has no relevance. He's got a father who has no influence that he can peddle. So now he's trying to go somehow in a different direction as he's trying to hawk a book. And again, he said yesterday, I played you the audio, $15 million in debt? Boo flippin' who? I wonder if we should all, just start a GoFundMe for Hunter Biden.
Not in my household, not in my neighborhood.
Didn't he had like a car that was like a $200,000 car, and he was living in a house that was like $20,000 a month. Remember that whole thing? So I don't know, man. It's hard for me to feel sorry for Hunter Biden. You dug your hole. Now you get to live in it. It is 5:24. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. You know what I need to do? Jay, can you remind me that whenever I throw down like some talk radio show host thunder, I got to then, come back with Merry Christmas. All right. So for the last time in the 5 o'clock hour, this is because Jay, just so you know, you haven't been here. The company gave us a whole bunch of really lame Christmas music to play. And I lost it one day. And I said, you know what, Sam, we're not playing this stuff anymore. We're going to buck the company and we're going to play our own. And that started us down this road the last couple of weeks. 5 o'clock hour, I play mine. 6 o'clock hour, Joan plays hers. 7 o'clock hour, Sam plays his. And then I can't really remember what happens in the 8. But so here's mine in the 5. Go. Lady A.
We're here tonight. And that's enough.
What's the name of this again? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Paul McCartney tune.
Yeah, but I like Lady A's version.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Shut up, Jay.
Christmas music is so subjective. Every year the lists come out of the most hated and most loved Christmas songs. And most of the time, this song is on both lists.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like green bean casserole.
Well, all right. Real quick, Jay, find that list. You find that list. And because I'm actually genuinely curious, what are the hated and what are the faves?
Yeah, usually that Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, it's on both lists.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
That's on I like that song, actually. All right, so real quick, Jay, what do you want for Christmas? Go.
Oh, goodness. Just a nice massage and a nice meal with my wife.
Okay, very good.
We've got enough stuff We don't exchange gifts anymore because, we're trying to get rid of stuff. We don't need more stuff. So it's about experience.
You know what's so funny about that, Jay? I said that to my wife. I said, wife, we've got too much stuff. We need to start getting rid of stuff. And she said, I'll get rid of you if you get rid of. Anyway, all right. So real quick, Sam, what do you want for Christmas?
More mass deportations.
More mass. Okay, very good. See, you know what? I tried to do a little fluff, and Sam just pulls me right back into the content. I want big conversation in my house about what I want, because I really don't need anything. I'm just going to be honest. I don't need anything. What do you get the man that has everything? Amy said, well, nothing. And that's why I have nothing under the tree. However, she's actually got a whole bunch of stuff for me. I wanted more of these Scully caps. Now, if you don't know what a Scully cap is, check me out on YouTube. I'm wearing one. So people are making a big deal out of the fact they're like little what do you call them? Newsboy hats from like the 1920s and 30s?
Yeah.
So people are like making fun of me for them, which is fine. It's all well and good. I've been wearing these for years, like years and years and years. I've never worn them when we've had the Super Talk TV. So I decided, because I was a little tired of wearing baseball caps, and I actually find these more comfortable. And also because of the lighting, sometimes an actual baseball cap will darken my face. So, which, could be a good thing, you might say. So anyway, I'm wearing these, and I like them.
Yes, I like those too, Dan. I've got several, and I wear mine quite a bit. And I've noticed you've been wearing those things, and I almost wore one today in your honor, and I elected for the ball cap.
Well, you should have worn it, Jay.
I know.
We could have nerded out together with our Scully caps.
I regret not wearing it. Like I say, I've got 3 or 4 of them.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Yeah, and so the first time I wore one with Amy, she was like, she loved it. And so I, of course, then, started wearing them more. Because at the time, my hot new girlfriend liked my little Scully caps. So there you go. So perhaps I'll be getting more of these. And by the way, if they weren't making fun of me over my Scully cap, Sam, they'd be making fun of me over something else. So I really don't care at this point.
You pull it off. Like I said, you look like Tiny Tim, survived the surgery after Scrooge raised the money for it.
Sure.
And you went on to have a happy life.
Okay, there you go. Well, I'm having a very happy life, as a matter of fact, so thank you very much. All right, it is 5:42 on Super Talk 99.7. Did you see any of Donald Trump as he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors or whatever that is last night? Did you see any of that? No? Okay.
No. The Preds won in overtime.
No. All right. So Donald Trump, last night, he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors, and I love this for a lot of different reasons. The president got a 30-second standing ovation. Now, the controversy going on right now with the Kennedy Center, where it is now the Trump Kennedy Center. And so, people are... One guy actually said, we joked about this yesterday, oh, my goodness, it's the end of democracy, right? Because Donald Trump, who puts his name on everything, he does. I don't know why he does it, but he does it. And whatever. This was Donald Trump. Last night, he got a standing ovation from everyone, including Sylvester Stallone, when they introduced him last night as he was hosting the Kennedy Center honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Lionel Richie. No, that's not Lionel Richie. I don't know who that was. Some guy with a big cheesy mustache. You know what's so great? Even Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley of Kiss were giving him a standing ovation. Now, they are both on record as saying that they don't like Donald Trump. And so they didn't have to stand up and give him a standing ovation, but they did, and I think that that's great. And so, and as far as I know, Donald Trump did a great job of hosting the Kennedy Center honors. Again, it's not something that I would typically watch, so I don't really care all that much. But, good for Donald Trump, and it looks like a good time was had by all. I cannot wait until 9 o'clock. Do you know why?
Because then it's officially Christmas.
And because Joan Jones is going to be hosting for Chris Hand, who we all love Chris and we all love Joan. But I sent her a great topic that she's going to knock out of the park. There is there's a podcast that is out there, and Kamala Harris is saying that it is sexist. Hey, do you have Kamala Harris's cackle on the button bar thing there? Kamala Harris is now saying that it is sexist to make fun of the Kamala cackle. Now, I'm not entirely certain why it's sexist to make fun of the Kamala cackle. But if it is sexist, I'll be sexist all day long. Because if they're going to make fun of Donald Trump and his sometimes orange skin, then I think it is okay to make fun of Kamala Harris. And here's the other thing. There's a lot of reasons to make fun of Kamala Harris. Guy on Red Eye last night called up and said that she was brain dead. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if she's brain dead, but the reality is Kamala Harris, I believe, and Sam, you'll understand this. Jay, you'll understand this too. So you can be smart, and I'm putting this in air quotes, right? You can pass the bar and be an attorney, but you can also be dumb as a stump. Like Kamala Harris doesn't have, in my opinion, any common sense. She doesn't know how to relate to people. She doesn't know how to interact with people. She is incredibly awkward. And so I don't know if she's brain dead, but I don't think that she has a lick of common sense. She just doesn't. So somebody asked her about dating advice, and we'll get into the whole cackle thing. I know that
I bet she was like, you need to get tested every 2 to 3 weeks based on her habits.
So I went down the road on Reddit because I saw this at the very last minute, and somebody sent it to me, and I just started riffing on it. But the best part about asking Kamala Harris for dating advice is knowing her history of dating, right? And I don't know if you would recall what she was doing with Willie Brown in San Francisco. Jay, you know that story?
Oh, yeah.
Jay's awfully quiet.
No.
So the story of, Kamala Harris, I'm air quoting, dating Willie Brown, who was married at the time, and how he hooked her up after the hookups, apparently, with, donors as she launched her political career, becoming the DA there in San Francisco. Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco. He was married, and he started, hooking up with a very young Kamala Harris. So it's kind of funny, though. So she was asked about dating on this podcast. And so this is part of what she said.
The important piece of this, though, for anyone who is single, who wants to be in a relationship, is to be kind to yourself and choose to be with someone who is kind.
So all right. So you want to go down the whole Doug Emhoff history of dating, where he knocked up the nanny, Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, knocked up the nanny and knocked around one of his ex-girlfriends. Remember that, Doug Emhoff? And the accusations against him, which he never really, he didn't deny that. Remember that whole story about how he was, I forget exactly what happened. Remind me what happened there, if you could look that up, where Doug Emhoff, he got jelly over something that was going on, and he knocked around his, a girl that he was seeing at the time. But Kamala Harris says, you know what? Find somebody who is kind.
That's really important. Mm-hmm. Choose to be with someone who allows you to laugh at yourself and them.
Do you think that Kamala Harris cackles when she is laughing in the house there, Jay?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Can you imagine having a tickle fight with Kamala Harris and just hearing that all day long?
No, Wicked Witch of the West.
She would inspire me not to tickle. You know what I mean? Like, you want to have little tickle fights with your loved one, but they laugh like this. You know what? I just, nah, that's okay.
Choose to be with someone who, you know, you like going to the grocery store together, taking a walk together, including doing something fancy together. You know, I mean, and there are different phases in your life, and depending on what phase you're in. Maybe you're going to choose that you want to have that.
I think they're in the phase where they live on different coasts. I think that's the phase. Because remember, he got a job in like New York. Doug Emhoff got a job in New York. It's some highfalutin law firm, and she was staying on the West Coast in L.A. Remember that whole thing? Anyway, so Doug Emhoff, remind us of the story of how the oh-so-kind Doug Emhoff knocked around an ex.
Yeah, in late 2024, an anonymous woman identified only as Jane and her friends alleged that second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, slapped her in the face during a 2012 incident at the Cannes Film Festival through a spokesperson. He denied the allegations, calling them untrue, but her account of events was corroborated by her friends. He allegedly turned her around and slapped her so hard that she spun around and was in utter shock, forced his way into the car with her when she attempted to leave without him, and made a tennis reference the next day, implying they were even after she slapped him back.
All right, so there you go. Somebody kind, Doug Emhoff. But I don't think it's sexist to make fun of the Kackle, and here's why. Because if you're going to be a politician, then, and I said this on the overnight, if you're going to be a politician, right, then, and you're going to put yourself out there, then it's all up for conversation. If they're going to spend how long talking about how Donald Trump is orange man bad, and he's orange, and he's Nazi, and he's Hitler, and all of these other stupid things, well, then, you know what? I'm not real worried about being called a sexist because I'm making fun of Kamala Harris's Kackle. Not going to. Nope.
And that's also implying, Kamala, that all women cackle like that. And I don't know about you, but my wife has an adorable laugh. I love to hear it.
It's exactly right.
That's just, as Jay said, that's a Wicked Witch of the West stuff right there.
That's exactly right. All right, it is 5:52. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7, WTN 1219. Please, Sam, stop with the laugh. I know. You know what?
I think you could interrogate and get, you know, like national security information out of somebody.
Yes.
Just lock them in a room.
Do you know what the sad thing is?
They'd be begging for the waterboarding.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Worse than waterboarding.
I can't read any of the super texts because they're all just like really nasty, and I just can't I can't do it. Not on Christmas Eve morning or any morning, as a matter of fact. By the way, people are digging the hat. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. 9577. I like the hat, Dan. Thank you. 5581. Hey, Dan, they're called flat caps or ivy caps. Says, I have a drawer full of these, but now they stick primarily with my Stetsons. Oh, fancy. Fancy
Very
pants.
fancy.
All right, 553, by the way, 4515. 4515 says Hillary could not pass the bar. Hillary passed the bar, didn't she?
Yeah.
Well, she was an attorney. I guess.
And
Okay.
Kentucky?
You know, Kim Kardashian.
Well, but in
has been-
Kentucky, I'm sure in Kentucky they've lowered the
Yeah.
they've lowered the bar for the bar in Kentucky. I'm totally kidding.
Dan, you do know that Kim Kardashian has been trying to pass the bar, and she's failed it a couple of times.
Can I say this, though? And I've said this before, and I got all kinds of hate. I actually admire Kim Kardashian for trying to better herself.
Yeah.
You folks think that I'm kidding. I'm not. This is a woman, I mean, forget about how she started, with all of her money, but it's kind of akin to Kamala and Willie Brown. But she's got millions and millions of millions, and yet she is trying to. Is she up to billions now?
I'm pretty the family net worth.
Yeah.
I love the fact that she's trying to improve herself. That's actually I admire Kim Kardashian for nothing except for that, because I think that is actually kind of admirable.
Yeah.
You agree?
I still blame O.J. Simpson for their popularity. He never commits a crime. Robert Kardashian never has to defend him. No one knows who the Kardashians are.
Okay, you know what? I don't know, Jay. Where do you stand on that? That's a hot take.
I think there's some truth to that, and also just the whole Bruce Jenner involvement with his ex-wife and all.
Well, yeah. Let's see. If Bruce Jenner never turned into Caitlyn Jenner, then would we even really care about Bruce Jenner anymore? I don't know. Does anybody care about Bruce Jenner? Or Caitlyn, whatever.
Woman of the Year that one year.
Oh, Lord.